half at Eastern Michigan. Buffalo +1 versus Western Michigan. Charlotte Navy under 57. East Carolina Army over 51. And the best bet for Steve Fezzik, Arkansas State -6.5 at Southern Miss. All right, let's get to the Iceman, Chuck Edel. Again, Chuck, second place finisher in this contest in 2022. The inaugural year, he was a runner-up. The second year, he was the first contestant cut. And Chuck Edel back for redemption right now in fifth place, 24-18 against the spread, 3-3 on his best bets, 25.5 total points. The Iceman this week is playing UCLA +4.5 at Rutgers, UNLV -6.5 at Oregon State. And he's going to lay it with Rebels in that look ahead with Boise on deck. Florida Atlantic, Texas San Antonio under 52.5. TCU +3.5. Tulsa Temple under 52.5. Rice Tulane under 53. And we have a limit of 4 college football totals you can play each week in this contest. And the Iceman's going to play the limit of 4. His best bet, Baylor, Texas Tech over 55. And that wraps up all the plays this week for the Circuit Friday Football Invitational. 174 of the 175 plays in on the show tonight with the leader, Chris Piper, getting in 6 out of 7. Hey, don't forget Monday, if you've always wanted to meet Paul Bovey, get his photo, get his autograph, show up at Dom DeMarco's on West Charleston. Doors open at 11:30. Show starts at noon. NFL handicapping show hosted by Jim Feist. Paul Bovey also going to be there. I'll be out there as well Monday afternoon at noon. Dom DeMarco's. Be there or be a square. Have a winning weekend. This is the Circa Friday Football Invitational on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Join us on a numbers game where Gil Alexander takes you on an informative and entertaining ride, focusing on the numbers that fuel today's bettors.
The Pittsburgh defense is amazing. I'm not doubting that.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open. Don't speak with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day, making sure they brush their teeth, is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
It's time to kick back and listen to the Sports Page with your host, Pat Lucia, right here on Western Reserve Radio. You can call the show at 330-707-4202 and tell everyone what's on your mind in the wonderful world of sports. Now, here's your host, Pat Lucia.
Saturday morning Sports Page. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. Get in and talk sports. Do it every Saturday morning here. And here is Western Reserve Radio. Dave Clark. A lot going on in the wonderful world of sports this day and age. At the baseball, basketballs, I didn't know this. Mm-hmm. The NBA starts this week. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yep.
They really need to. They need to move it. The NBA needs to start like around Christmas because they're starting in the middle of football, and actually now they're actually starting with baseball being right at its peak. It's almost like an afterthought. I mean, it just is crazy because it's just like, someone I noticed it last night. They advertised it on TV, the NBA tip off, and I thought, NBA. It's only October. It's October, and
always the third week of October. It's always been like that.
Always.
Yeah, but the ticket sales is way up because there's a lot of intrigue in this year.
Oh yeah, this is going to be
so many things in the NBA. So this is the first time we'll say.
Yeah,
I usually don't like it at the time of football, but because of all the intrigue on all these rosters.
Oh yeah,
this is going to be a sports interest period. I think sports is going to make big money. Yeah. In the National League and American League championship series, great.
Yeah,
that's going good. And you look at college football.
Oh yeah,
it's great matchups every week.
Every week now.
NFL. You don't know what's going on in NFL. You just don't know. So we got all these things going on at once, and I mean, sports heaven.
It is.
It's what it is. So they're going to make some big money.
Yeah, October's probably one of the best sports months of the year.
But they usually be terrible for NBA that first, because it don't really be intrigue. It's the same teams, not a lot of movement. But boy, was there a lot of stuff going on this past off season. I mean, a lot of things.
Knicks getting Anthony Towns.
Yeah,
Anthony Towns.
And Bridges.
So there's a lot of
moves.
People in New York with hope. Lau, especially getting to New York. Let's open up that door. Last night, or I should say yesterday and last night, the New York Mets forced a Game 6. They were down 3-1, but they just started hitting the ball crazy last night. They beat the Dodgers 12-6. And man, they exploded. Pete Alonso started with the 3-run homer in the first inning, make it 3-0, and then the Mets were off from there. They won 12-6. What does that mean? That means they force a Game 6 back in LA. They will play that Sunday night. Now, supposedly the Dodgers are going to make that, quote, a bullpen game, which means they're going to just use the relievers. They don't have a starter. And people are like, well, wait a minute. You're going to use that as a bullpen game? The Mets they did that Game 2 and the Mets lit them up. So you're going to force a Game 7? I mean, it's not helping your chance to seal the deal and win the series.
Yeah.
And the Mets are such a strange team because people were writing them all off. They're done. They're dormant. They're finished. And sure enough, they snap it back and they win yesterday and they look like they got their momentum going. They have that back. Now you want to put a Game 6 together where you're going to throw bullpen pitchers out, and the Mets now seem to have found their mojo, sort of to speak.
Yeah.
I.e., force a Game 7 with the Mets. I mean, the way the Mets are so streaky.
Yeah, no, they could take them out now. Maybe the Dodgers is not telling everything. Maybe it's something going on with the starters, not being tired. It could be some other things going on. I wouldn't take the chance in doing that, but I'm thinking there's something else going on. Don't want to say it or don't want to risk. They go out there with one of their guys and they lose that game. Then you don't have the guys that you need in a Game 7. You'll have everything Game 7 with that, but it's a risky chance with a streaky team like that. So we'll see.
Because that's how the Mets have gotten where they are. They're house money because nobody expected the Mets to be where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're basically, I mean, if they can go out to LA and win Game 6 and you force a Game 7, obviously it's from there. It's a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
Every Game 7, it's a coin flip. You never know.
Yeah, and I mean, the games in Cleveland, too, have been great. But that was an important game for the Yankees to win.
Right.
Because you need to be a 3-1 on that team, too.
Yes.
Because you just don't know. So that last out, You didn't know if Cleveland was going to do something in the last inning. You just don't know.
No,
it's sneaky.
No lead is safe, especially in
I keep saying Indians. You hear that? Guardians.
Okay.
They're going to always be the Indians.
I know.
And it's always going to be
It's like the Chargers.
Yeah, you can't help it.
We know it's the San Diego Chargers. I don't care. We call them the LA. We call them the San Diego Chargers, and always will.
Yeah.
Period.
LA.
They're always going to be.
That sounds terrible.
It does. It's horrible. The LA Chargers doesn't even sound right.
Doesn't even get me fired up or anything.
No.
Makes me want to turn the TV off.
The San Diego Chargers.
It's unfair, too, because I actually you go back to the old AFL days. I used to love 4 o'clock game.
Beautiful.
Here it is. Chargers and the Chiefs, Chargers and the whoever. That used to be great back then.
Oh, yeah. It was.
Kurt Gowdy on the call.
NBC.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Boy.
And now, LA Chargers.
Now they're the San Diego Chargers. The LA, we still call them the San Diego Chargers. Getting to the Yankees, for those that did not stay up for the game, the Yankees, they won 8-6. They were actually up 3-2. Giancarlo Stanton has been, during the regular season, he's looked not so good at times. But in the playoffs, he's the money man. He is the man in the playoffs. He hit a 3-run homer again. When he hits baseball, it's like coming out of a cannon. He is a big man, and he can drive that ball a long way. He hit a 3-run homer. They can get 6-2 for the Yanks. However, those Cleveland Guardians, I had to hesitate.
He was getting ready to say it.
Yeah. They tie it up in the 8th inning, 3 runs, 6-6, and I really thought they were going to win the game because the Yankees pitching, Clay Holmes played absolutely horrendous. I'm sorry, in the bottom of the 7th, Cleveland scored 3 runs, and then they tied it up in the 8th inning with another run. Yeah, it was 6-5, 6-6, bottom of the 8th, they tie it. Then I thought the Yankees were done because they had no pitching. Their relief pitchers were pretty much spent. Clay Holmes just gave up the 3 runs. He looked terrible for the Yankees. However, the Yankees found something in their being and scored the 2 runs the top of the 9th to make it 8-6. And Tommy Canley came in 9th inning, closed it out for the Yanks. And you're right. After losing that game 3, when the Yankees looked like they were going to win it, and Cleveland came back and won 7-5, and I thought Cleveland was going to come back and win this one and tie it up. And if that happened, I would almost say the Cleveland was going to win the series because Cleveland, again, they're kind of like the Mets, a very streaky team, young team. They get momentum, they get mojo, and they get going. And this team, realistically, the Cleveland Guardians could have basically, if they would have won that game last night, I would say they would probably be favored to win the series. However, it didn't go that way. Yankees pull out a win, a very big win that they needed.
Right.
So now it's 3-1 Yankees. They play tonight in Cleveland to see if the Yankees can close it out, which way these teams are playing, I don't rule anything out. I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland doesn't come back and win game 5 and force game 6 in New York. And Cleveland scares me because if they get a little momentum, they can carry. I could see Cleveland coming back from a 3-1 deficit and winning. I don't rule anything out this year. These teams all have flaws. The remaining 4 teams are all flawed in some way. And I could just see Cleveland could remotely come back and pull this out of the hat. Now, I know it's not looking good 3-1 down. If it was 2-2, it would be better. But don't rule anything out at this point.
You never can. Never can.
No lead is safe in this series.
Right. Cleveland fans, you have to have hope. It was a 3-1 basketball series some years back, wasn't it?
Yes, LeBron James in 2016
against the best team.
Against the team that had the best record, Golden
ever.
State ever.
Yeah. So you just you can't rule out something happening. So try to keep some faith in there.
Yeah, because the sad part is with Cleveland is, well, getting now since we've talked about the Guardians, unfortunately the Browns. Mike Lombardi said this yesterday on Mad Dog Russo, and I was a little shocked that through 6 games, Deshaun Watson's numbers are pretty much equal to Jamarcus Russell's numbers when he was with the Raiders.
It is. Yeah. And he's not that type of player. But you got to get, well, you can't get because you get him at his lowest point. So you can't, I don't know what you do with him. Somebody will take him, though, because this has always been NFL coaches. Oh, we'll fix him and get him right. And he has too much talent that somebody can't fix him. But I must say with Howie Long had said once, and then the guy on NFL Network, he said this guy has no confidence at all.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. No. You could look at him
and
his body language. And then they showed him at Houston, his body language when he played there. Even when they weren't winning, his body. This guy has no confidence. And it's a complete, Howie Long said, a complete mental block. Yeah. Complete. I mean, he got serious situations personally and then on the field. And then when your teammates are really looking at, man, look at how you performing. We don't have a shot. Then they go against you. You got everything against you. Nothing's going right. This guy really is shot until he goes somewhere else. They have to try to work. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know.
But we done seen it. I never thought Russell Wilson be traded. I said, there's no way. You can't do that. How you gonna do that? They did it. And I don't know, Cleveland might have to take that shot and do it.
Yeah.
But they got to do some excellent scouting to get the right players in there, fit it under the cap, and be able to compete. Because one thing about that division, it's I can't say up and down. It's always just competitive, no matter what the rosters look like. That's just a competitive division. So if you can make a competitive team, you never know what can happen, and then you can get the guy you need in there after that. But you have to you have to. He'll go somewhere. More than likely, it happens to Cleveland all the time. He'll go somewhere else, and you'll be saying, where was that guy at?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I mean, because he was Baker Mayfield. He always looking for somebody in a different color uniform when he's in Cleveland. he have a few games, and then you be wondering, what the heck is he doing? And now he's playing consistent football. Yeah. I mean, doesn't make any sense.
And the thing is with Baker is he signed the contract, but he kind of took a deal there for them. I mean,
he did.
He didn't want crazy money. He had good money, but they have it structured so it's team friendly contract. And Baker loves Tampa, and the fans love Baker. And Baker's real community oriented guy, good guy, well liked, and he loves Tampa area, and the fans love Baker. And the team's playing very good, and it's all working out for Tampa Bay. And why is you Cleveland? Why couldn't that be?
Because I really feel, in my opinion, that and think over the years, Cleveland puts too much pressure on their quarterbacks anyway.
Yeah,
not making nothing for Deshaun Watson. I mean, we go all the way back to when they came back.
No, you could go way back. You could go back further than that.
And come on, Tim Couch. Come on, Tim Couch. You had a roster that was terrible. So I don't know if the guy could ever been a top flight quarterback or not. But they always put all this pressure. It was everything Baker's fault. Everything's on Baker. He was playing bad. There's no question about it.
Well, he played bad when he had that shoulder.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the year before. He was sporadic.
Yeah, he
have a 3 or 4 games and it's 5 terrible. Then he comes back and 5 good. He was never consistent.
But he got him to the playoffs.
Yeah, but they couldn't win because of inconsistent play.
Right.
At the quarterback. You can't win in the NFL with inconsistent play at the quarterback.
He had him when they were playing Kansas City in the playoff game. They were in a good position.
They could have won. Bad call by the referees on, I still think, the receiver. I forgot his name. When he went out of bounds. what do they call a fumble or whatever?
Oh, that was where the ball rolled over that was where the ball rolled through the end zone and they got that call. And then I believe that was when Chad Henne converted that fourth down and sealed the game for Cleveland. Again, Cleveland being snake bit for
something about it.
Something, but getting back and not to digress to history, but bottom line is I still don't understand why they're not playing Jameis Winston. I know the reason why is the owner wants Stefanski. I'm convinced the owner wants Stefanski to play Watson, and I don't understand why.
Stefanski has been you done seen him at Minnesota and different places,
right? And he knows,
and he done changed quarterbacks when he needed to change quarterbacks, and he wasn't even the head coach, but he would change things and stuff like that. He knows, and you could tell the rhetoric he's talking about is actually comes from upstairs. He doesn't, because the things that come out of his mouth, he don't believe that.
No, he knows.
He knows this guy's confidence is shot. The guys don't want to play.
Right.
So, it's sad because he probably get fired. Stefanski will probably get fired.
And be hired within 2 days.
Yeah, and wherever he goes, here we go again.
You're going to watch Kevin Stefanski do great things with the team he goes to, because if they fire him, I would be, especially when we know how the Black Monday works. Like we were talking last week, just this year, the Black Monday is just going to be, there's going to be a lot of teams this year. I think there's going to be a lot of NFL openings at the end of this year.
Yeah.
You already have you have the Jets. It's got to be one opening for sure.
And I think, and Dallas would be another.
Dallas may be probably another. Philadelphia may be one, because afterwards Salah got into the fans and then he brings his kids to the press conference.
What's his name?
Not Salah. I'm sorry. Sirianni.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure the way the Eagles have played too. Boy, that team, to me, all the talent.
What do you put it down to? I look at it. I look at the games. I say, okay, let me see if they got effort. Well, I see effort out there. So what is it next when you got all that talent?
That's what I mean.
It's got to be coaching.
It's got to be.
It's got to be coaching. That's too much talent.
So bad.
Yeah. I mean, the defense is not playing the way they normally play, even though the effort is there. The execution is not.
And the
offensively, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's worse because it sputters around, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm a Eagles fan. I do like them, but I've never been like completely like, yes.
Well, yeah,
I'm talking about as far as quarterback, Jalen Hurts. I like him, but if somebody said, I'll give you, and I'm not talking about nobody that just came in the league, you give me another quarterback that I could think of, I probably would take him. Because is this because he plays sporadic, but the other coordinator, the one that's in Baltimore?
The one that's in the Colts or the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't know which one was the offense or defense, but whoever it was, that guy had a relationship with him. They were on the same page, and that's why he was the MVP candidate, because how he played him. He has not played like that since the guy left. Now, you got to hold on to this guy. If he's trying to I understand, though, he wants the head coaching job, but man, I'm going to pay him close to head coaching money to keep him there for a few more years. You get him under Jalen Hurts, under him for maybe, let's say, 3 years. Then if he leaves, I think he'd be so comfortable in what he's doing, he wouldn't do that. But you can see now his play is so sporadic. Same thing I was talking about with Baker Mayfield. You said Baker played great to get to the playoffs. Jalen Hurts played good enough to get to the playoffs, but he was inconsistent. And that's why when they played Tampa Bay, out the playoffs. Because he couldn't make the big play, he couldn't make the throws that he needed to, just look out of sync. And that's what you got to have, a guy that's consistent if you want to win in the NFL. They can't be hearing it every now and then. That doesn't work. As you'll be on a path to moving around the league in the NFL every now and then doesn't work, especially at that position. You might could do that at another position, but that doesn't work at the quarterback position.
The offensive coordinator that he had the relationship with is Shane Steichen.
Steichen, okay, and that's the guy that's at the Colts.
He's got the Colts. The Cardinals coach is the other coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, who actually is from Cleveland, Ohio, and went to St. Ignatius.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Gannon is the defensive coach of the Eagles. Now he's head coach of the Cardinals. They took both coordinators away from the Eagles.
And the inconsistency of both units.
And you could
is
see
right
it,
there.
and they haven't been. They have not figured it out.
Now, I forgot who it was, and you might have seen it too. Before they lost the coaches 2 years ago, when they went to play the Chiefs, and people was talking about, okay, they're losing their coordinators. And the guy said the real gems of that coaching staff, not taking nothing away from Sirianni because he put the unit together.
Yeah.
But they said those two guys
were the reason why.
Glued because the guys loved them, they played hard for them, and they kept them in the right place to be successful. They're gone.
And they have not recovered.
And they haven't recovered.
No, they haven't. That team is just not right.
Yep. I mean, and the talent, you see it all over the field.
Talent's
everywhere.
There. They actually should be blowing. They should be in that division.
And can you imagine them with those coaches still there? And you got Saquon Barkley.
That's what I mean.
They'd be killing people.
They would be.
But no.
They could be basically undefeated. Have played, the Philadelphia Eagles are painful because it's like trying to put the square peg in the round hole. You see talent on the field, but boy, they just go out on the field and it's just awkward.
And I look at Kellen Moore, the way he plays Jalen Hurts. It's not the same way.
No.
It's nowhere near it. And he doesn't. He looks uncomfortable.
Totally. He looks right.
Why should he at this juncture of his career?
Right.
Looks uncomfortable. He won't never admit it's okay. It's coming.
No, he would never.
He knows it's not comfortable. I mean, you could just see it.
When we get to Black Monday, which we always
and you bring your
love
kids
to
there.
just talk about.
See, I already got out of here.
Right.
Hi, Belichick. He might be. I wouldn't be surprised.
There are 3 teams, probably 4, because Tepper's going to fire the Carolina guy. He ain't going to make it.
No.
Canales.
Even though I will say they are very competitive with Dalton and doing things. No. But he's still because he has no patience.
Right.
And the guy looked like they like to play for him, but he's not waiting.
No, he's not. He reminds me so much of Steinbrenner and the Yankees in the 80s. Oh my gosh. I read a book about that, and Steinbrenner had no patience. He was firing managers, going after signing old players, giving them, just trying to make the team good. And the harder he tried, the worse it got. And that's what it reminds me of. Like Carolina, Tepper's just going to, because he thinks it's a board, like he's running his business, and we talk about this a lot. These owners come in and they think they're running their business. They're treating their NFL team like their business, and they want results now. And if they don't get the results, we're firing people and bringing more in because I'm going to get it right. And if I have to fire everybody and bring new people in and get a new vision, I'm doing it. And bang, bang. And guess what? Lose, because that's not the NFL game. No, like he did Frank Reich. He never gave Frank Reich a chance to figure it. No, and he wants to get involved, and he wants to tell people what to do. And if they don't do it, or they do what he says, but they don't get the results, they're fired, and you're bringing someone else. It's just constant turnover, time and time again.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something that I read it way back there. You can see it. Frank Reich. Good coach, good offensive coordinator, and seen that. Really works well with quarterbacks. I remember him doing an interview before the draft, and he said, could make all the throws. Young. Yeah. There's no doubt. But he said, now this is him talking, then I could tell he said, but there's some other things he's going to have some growing pains. They have to work through some things. And I don't know how long it would take, but I really believe he has that type of talent like a Russell Wilson to make it in this league, blah, 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 blah. But you could tell when they kept asking about C.J. Stroud, he was more inclined to want to go that way because he looked at his background far as look at all the camps and who he went to camps with, the Mannings and all this, and learning playing an NFL quarterback position, even though Ohio State don't really play a true pro state type of offense, he's still seen all the mechanics and things. He wanted them, but then he started. You could hear him talking, but it was really the Tepper telling him. That was his voice coming out of him,
right?
Because he was saying things that didn't make any sense. And then he gets him. He tries to fix him. He's not going to fix him that quick.
And it was a bad team, and they traded his best receiver away too on top of it more.
Now, why do you do that to a young quarterback? He needs that.
Right.
As
You
a
need
blanket.
that. Right. You need that.
You get rid of him.
And you got rid of DJ Moore, who was probably top 2 or top 3 receivers in the league, and you gave him away to, I forget who. You gave him away.
On a platter.
On a platter. Got nothing. And so you're bringing in a rookie quarterback.
And why do you do that after just getting rid of McCaffrey?
Right. And you got rid of McCaffrey. So you basically are setting up this young kid to fail.
Yep.
And then the line's not that good. And then it just goes downhill from there. And then you fire the coach, and now you're bringing a whole new coaching staff, and the team's not that good.
Fire him too.
And they're going to fire him too. And I will say, and the team looks like they're shot. They got lit up last week. The other guy probably going to be out at the end of the year is the New Orleans coach.
Yes,
Allen.
It's going to be too long.
That Thursday night.
And then their team is what a mash unit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
a lot of injuries.
I can't believe Olave, Shaheed, the whole receiving.
They're gone.
Core is done.
And their defense is terrible. I mean,
and was playing great at the beginning of the season. They got injuries. Now they look terrible.
Now they went. We haven't even got to Dallas yet.
Yeah.
And Jim, we got to get back. Saturday morning sports page. First quarter is already in the books. Western Reserve Radio. Back after this.
Accidents happen. That's why you need Repair That Glass. Specializing in windshield replacement and all other auto glass, we offer a full range of automotive glass repairs. Our technicians can do everything from minor chip repair to a complete replacement. Your windows don't go up or down, they can fix that too, along with custom glass work and antiques. Repair That Glass is a family-run business for over 40 years. Repair That Glass. Call for your appointment now at 330-534-3192. Green
light, let's get it. Green light, let's get it. Green light, let's get it.
The Mahoning Valley Federals is the area's minor league football team. After only 2 years in existence and an appearance in the league playoff semifinal game, the Federals are looking to add Valley High School and college talent to help take the next step toward a league championship. For more information on how to become part of the Federals journey, go to Facebook at the Mahoning Valley Federals Developmental Football Team or contact General Manager John Galbraith at 330-540-1099. The Mahoning Valley Federals, honoring the football tradition in the Valley.
Discount Power Sports at 778 North Main Street in Hubbard is hosting a raffle for a 125cc Pentora ATV. Tickets are $30 each, and 100 tickets are available. For each raffle, when those 100 are gone, a winner will be drawn and a new raffle will begin. Tickets can be purchased at any Hubbard home game or at 778 North Main Street or by calling 330-717-44441. $1,500 from each raffle will go toward a scholarship for the Hubbard Youth Coalition.
Hiya, Queen of All Knowledge here, reminding you, creeps out there on the internet hack, scam, and trick savvy cyber users every day, but we can fight back. It's as easy as IC3. If you're a victim of online crime, don't give up. Visit IC3, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. Your tips help the FBI track down cyber criminals around the world. Report your crime to www.ic3.gov today.
Saturday morning sports page right back at you, 330-707-4202. Talking a lot about going on with Cleveland, and obviously the NFL kind of went off on the coaches as far as who's going to be fired. I think it's going to be an extensive list. I could be wrong, but I think there's going to be a lot of openings in the NFL. Yeah. I just don't think the Carolina guy is going to make it. Canales. I don't think, what's his name? McCarthy down in Dallas, and Sirianni's going to be out. Sal's already at the Jets. They're going to need a coach.
I'm a Philadelphia guy. I actually want Sirianni out. I do.
Right, and I think that's a lot. They were saying exactly what you were saying. As the fans want him out, fans, he has managed to turn the fans against him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you could just see it. It was the youngest coach staff. Remember all the publicity about, why do you turn this team over to these young guys? But you could see you had Jeffrey Lurie, who was patient. He let them blend in, and they went all the way till they got to the Super Bowl with that young coaching staff.
Yeah.
And people thought this would never work, but it was working. Those guys were so good that teams wanted them for head coaches. And once he got rid of them, he didn't know. Sirianni didn't know what to do. He tries to do some dumb stuff that he had. I forgot the offensive coordinator. He tried to bring people in that don't even.
Yeah, he had no idea. Yeah, and that's what. Yeah,
that just messed everything up. And then you bring Kellen Moore in. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not the right coordinator for the offense they were running.
Right, and therein lies your problem.
And his first thing was good in Dallas. They don't run Dallas offense.
No.
He wasn't great at the Chargers.
No, he struggled with the Chargers.
Perfect for Dallas, and that's where what they wanted to run, but not for the Chargers. And then they get him like, we're going to be back. Oh, terrible. And I don't Fangio. I like him, but the thing I don't like about him, I would always say this: he always plays zone and laid back. And the Eagles has not really been that type of team. They used to blitz like crazy.
Right. They were aggressive.
They take chances. They take chances.
No,
sometimes they get beat, but they would take chances. Right. They don't do that. It's a boring football to me. I can't. When I'm looking at all that talent, and this is boring.
Yeah. They look there.
I mean, get this guy out of here.
There is something wrong with that team.
Got to get somebody in there.
And albeit, I just think you have the coaches trying to implement a system on the offense and the defense that just does not sync up with their talent.
Yeah.
That is a fan perspective.
Right.
I'm not a coach. I don't know the X and O's, but I'm just sitting back and I watch them play. They're painful to watch because I see talent and I just see it's like what you look at that team and you go, why are they playing so bad with all that talent?
Yeah, I mean, I look at just on defense. I won't even talk about Hurts and them. Is there too many teams or a lot of teams in the NFL that got a better array of defensive line talent that's in the NFL than them?
Not what they
young.
No, I mean, no.
They got guys, they bring them in and out.
Yeah.
Look at all that talent in there. Sometimes they can't even get to the quarterback.
No.
They don't run all the different twists, all the stuff they used to do. Just straight pass.
And they let Kirk Cousins beat them, and I still can't get over that.
And what was Fangio playing in that? Prevent
defense. And Kirk
Prevent
Cousins
you from winning. That's what I used to always say.
Kirk Cousins turned into Johnny Unitas, and he brought him right down the field, and like he was an all-pro all-star, and Cousins, boom, 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 boom,
boom.
And
you can't give that guy time. Now, I will say that you cannot give him time to look. No, man, that guy will pick you apart.
Right.
You got to put pressure on him.
He's a good enough quarterback.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely above average. He's definitely way above average. Right. And he'll drive right down the field. And that's what he did.
And they did. And the Eagles let him do it. No, that was like, I was watching that game. It was a Monday night game. I'll never forget it. And I watched that and I said, my God, and he only had one timeout, 140 left.
Yep.
And that was an eternity for him.
And I forgot the announcers when one of them said, well, I'm sure they're going to cut loose their linebackers. They're going to come with that pressure up the middle.
Never did. Nothing.
Just regular four guys.
And they
kept an extra guy back to block. And he just picked him and he was in zone.
Diced.
It was in the umbrella zone.
And he was the wide receivers down, out, catch the ball out of bounds, 20 yards, 15 yards.
I couldn't believe it. That was painful to watch.
And it was. Because if you were an Eagle fan, you were like going, like, you're going to put any pressure on Kirk? No, they never put any pressure on Kirk Cousins at all. He brings the team down the field like sliced cheese.
Right.
He's slicing that defense like slicing up cheese. Boom.
Yeah.
Touchdown. Game over.
I and I'm wondering, I'm sure Jim does this too. You watching the game, you try to watch it as a fan, but when you have played the game, you also watch it as a player. When you done coach the game, you watch it as a coach too. So I be watching three different
you're watching
facets.
it three perspectives.
Yeah, I'm watching it,
Right.
And when I'm as a fan, I'm like, get these guys out of here right now. Then I look at it as a coach, I said, give them time. I guess give them time, see if they can implement. But I see no change. So now I go back to my fan perspective, get them out of here. That's what I see, because it's terrible. I mean, you're wasting guys' talent.
And that's the frustrating part, is you see the talent. They should be obviously winning the division by hands. Now it looks like the Commanders are the team to beat in that division.
Yeah, and I mean, they look like it. The only thing I worry about is their defense.
Right.
And that's why these teams can stay in with them. But, man, I mean, you just, that's up for grabs.
Well,
I mean, because
I get news for
if
you.
the Giants play correctly sometimes, and when they do, they are a threat when they play.
The problem with the New York Giants, maybe they'll get Neighbors back. The problem with the New York Giants is they just take so long to get down the field because they really don't have any explosive talent out there.
But
now Neighbors is back. Maybe they will. That will change it. He was out with the concussions a couple weeks. They didn't
because they just look different with him in there.
They do. It's a different team
because he's threatening people,
and he will spread out.
And Slayton, makes big plays, and I like Robinson.
I like Robinson with Neighbors in there. He's going to give. Hopefully, now the only problem is Andrew Thomas, their tackle, who was their best lineman, is out for the year with the Liz Frank.
Yeah,
he had the surgery, so he's gone for the year. So the Giants are missing their best offensive lineman. So now they're going to have to rig that line better.
Yeah,
and they're going to have to figure something out.
Who's the offensive coordinator for them? Because I got to give him kudos to the point of he's not always putting Daniel Jones in the 5 and 7 step drop all the time. He's getting them where he's getting rid of the football quicker, which is helping the offense.
Michael John Kafka.
Okay, because he's doing a good job.
He has. I will give him credit. He's doing a pretty good job there.
Now, that's not the Michael Kafka that used to play for Northwestern or somebody in the Big Ten, is it?
Yes,
and he used to play for the Eagles, I think, as a backup quarterback. Is that him?
That's
he's
the man.
Young then.
Yes, he was with. Yes, he's 37.
Oh yeah,
he was with Northwestern. Very good, Dave Clark.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
He was with Northwestern from 2005 to 2009. He's from Chicago. Went to St. Rita's in Chicago. 6'3", 230. He played. He was drafted 4th round by the Eagles and played for the Eagles in 2002 seasons. And then he was back, and then he got in New England, but he practice squad. He made was with the New England, the Jags, Tampa Bay in 14, Minnesota 15. Then he went practice squad in 15 to the Titans, and then ultimately got out and became a grad assistant Northwestern in 2016, and was with Kansas City quarterback coach. And actually stayed with the Kansas City through 2021 and came into the Giants in 22 as the offensive coordinator. He's done a very good job.
Yes,
he redid the offensive line. I will give him some credit there.
And that offensive line doesn't look as bad as it has in the past.
Now he'll be challenged more is because Andrew Thomas, the left tackle, who was their best lineman, is now out for the year with, again, the Liz Frank foot injury. I believe he had surgery. So he is definitely out for the year. They will have to make adjustments in that line again.
Yep.
So we'll see how the Giants do. They, I don't know. They seem to continue to struggle. Daniel Jones has looked good at times. I know there was a rumor out there. A friend sent me a thing that said, allegedly, I love NFL rumors, that the Giants were trying to get Matthew Stafford from the LA Rams. And that was supposedly in the works, in the rumor mill. And I don't know where any of that went, but that's not a good fit for the Giants. they need a quarterback who's got a lot of move. One thing I will give Jones a lot of credit. I've been a big critic of his, but I will give him, he knows how to move around in the pocket because he has to.
Yep.
Because the line still is not a great line. It's a makeshift line. He knows the line's limitations, sometimes to a fault, but he moves around. Matthew Stafford would be out on a disabled list after a game with the Giants. He would be basically teed off. Defensive lineman would be a mesh. He would be in the mash unit.
Yeah.
If he went to the Giants, that would not be a good fit. And Matthew Stafford, he's got one of the best coaches coaching for him, McVay, and it would not go well for Matthew Stafford in New York because that line would have him again. He would be out on the DL within a game if he went to the Giants. We'll see what the Giants have the big game with the Eagles at home. They're getting 3.5 points. We'll get to that one. That's going to be a big game.
That makes you want to take the half, as far as I'm telling you right now, because they don't. Until I see them play up there, and I don't care if they play one game up to that potential. I need to see it consistent. And I don't think they could do it with those coordinators they got.
No.
Get rid of both coordinators and the head coach.
Yeah.
No, just get rid of them. Now, I ain't going to say the whole staff because it might be certain guys on there to do a good job. Get rid of it.
You might have to, and that I think when it gets Black Monday, I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think if I was saying, I never want to wish people getting fired, but we do it all the time with the NFL coaches. But that's one of I see at least 4 openings. And here's the other one we'll get to right now. And it is now, I don't know if it's been official, but it looks like that Russell Wilson starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
That will be interesting because Fields was 4-2. People played good against the Raiders. I know people are still criticizing that he still doesn't make quite all the throws. And
they sputter on. It shows something, but somebody said something. What's his name? Nate Burleson.
Yeah.
He said, they start talking about he didn't know exactly what Tomlin is doing. And then Cowher said, one thing he said, I don't really like to question anything, Tomlin. He's one smart guy as a coach. Why is he doing it? And then Burleson said he thinks, actually, at this, they're 4-2. The rest of the division, except Baltimore, is really just wandering around. They're just, they just don't look right.
No,
Cleveland's terrible. Cincinnati doesn't look right. They can stand pace with this. Why you put Russell Wilson back in against the Jets? He said, we're going to find out what Russell Wilson has right off the bat.
Yeah, we are.
And then if he's not good and terrible, then he has an easy go back. Now, the big thing that's wrong with Fields is he makes a lot of plays, which is good. He makes a lot of plays with his feet
at the feet.
But that's not going to last through a whole season. And he's too inconsistent as far as drives. And they got a lot of 3-and-outs. They're 3-and-out a lot. And that's not going to bode well as the season keep going. But the guys like him. They like both quarterbacks. That's one good thing they got. But if he gets him in there and Wilson is terrible, that's even a better reason to say, okay, we go back Fields, even though that looked bad. Is there a plan? He said, I think it's a plan to put him in there because you think you put him against a lesser defense that throws all kind of stuff at you for his first game, but we'll see.
One thing to remember, Pittsburgh Steelers have a really bad offensive line.
Right. So
horrible offensive line. So we're going to really see.
That's the thing.
I know people are critical of Fields with, he doesn't make, but with that offensive line, I've seen him make some really good throws too.
Yeah, he makes good throws.
He makes some good and the consistency, but then I go back to that offensive line being what they are.
Yeah.
And I think I give Fields a lot of credit for winning 4 games. In fact, someone said if they would have won the Dallas game Sunday night that they lost, that Fields would stay the quarterback. They would have been 5-1. If they beat Dallas on Sunday night, then he would not. Maybe he would anyway, because it was Russell Wilson was the starter, and you don't want to lose the starter. And Tomlin is sticking by his word.
Yeah, and it ain't just Tomlin. That's around the league. Usually, a starter who is your starter
and gets
does
hurt
not lose his starting job
because of injury.
Yeah, but if they're playing off the charts,
then
he's lost.
He's lost. Yeah,
right.
He's not,
and I like what Fields said because he said he knew himself.
Fields,
he didn't play. He said I was not consistent. Right. I didn't play well. Yes, we've been winning, and we did some good things. But have I been consistent? He said it wouldn't be. I should have made it where it was no question. And he said he hasn't played to that where it's no question that you don't go back to your starter.
One thing will be interesting at the end of this year, depending on what Pittsburgh ultimately does and what Fields does, and if Fields ends up being the quarterback, gets them into the playoffs, and he does well, Pittsburgh's going to have to make a decision on signing because they're both Wilson and Fields are both free agents.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be working to see if it's anybody else too. Big name that they can get.
So the question is going to be though, if I think that if Justin Fields becomes a free agent, somebody's going to sign him and give him a nice contract. I really do.
Yeah, they might.
I think,
especially one of the
teams. We talk about it all the time, but he's quarterback. Remember, we talked about it. They like this year. The quarterbacks coming out of college, they're really not. It's not a good crowd. Yeah, these guys are not first rounders, but. At the end of the day, the NFL will make them first rounders because they almost wish quarterbacks to be a first rounder so they can draft them.
I'm trying to think. I forgot we was looking at something like it's probably about 4 that I think they had put down as sure first rounders. I forgot all the names. It probably come on again today. It's college football, so they'll be talking about that as far as first round quarterbacks. And it's still early in the season. Really, for college football, you'll see guys start to emerge. They'll show you that they could be a first round talent. That's just what it is with quarterbacks anyway. You'll find it and see if these guys are.
Well, the question is going to be, I guess people think Carson Beck, the Georgia quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe, and Noah Fifta out of Arizona, I think I'm saying that right, are the top. That's 5 of the ones that are considered top quarterbacks.
Sanders going to go in the first round too.
Shador will probably be a first rounder.
Mm-hmm. He'd be one of those.
He's Lamar. They rate him 8.
Yeah, because it's just a guy that he can get picked somewhere, go somewhere and flourish because he got all the tools to do what he need to do.
They've got Cam Rising as 9.
Yep.
Cameron Ward 10 out of Miami.
And I'm surprised that Cam out of Miami is not ahead of Rising is decent.
He's old.
He's hurt.
And he's hurt all the time.
He's old for college. He's 26. So, but
that's old.
Just know he gets injured. That's the thing about it. He gets injured. And that's what I worry about. But he does have the NFL arm. There's no question. Quinn Ewers, too. I like how he throws the ball back. All those guys look good.
Now, whether or not they are first rounders and what they do, we'll know. We'll wait. The draft is a way away. We'll have to see. But at least some experts don't believe this is a great class of quarterbacks, and they're really not any true first rounders. But the NFL will make a couple of these guys first rounders because they always do anyway. Like
I like to watch anyway because they said the crop wasn't that good.
No,
really that this year,
right?
But you can see that. You see Caleb. We already know Jaden down. Now you can see that Caleb Williams is getting comfortable. He's picking teams apart.
Yeah, he had a great game against it was Jacksonville though, but it was he's starting. You could see his development is coming around. Jaden Daniels looks like he is on his way.
And I think could be good too because you can see spurts of it. Drake May. I get to see different things
good.
He does.
Drake May looked good
Their offense looked like an NFL offense with him in there.
He actually he played good. Yeah. The Patriots are not a good team.
Right, that's the thing.
But he played good for being thrown to kind of the wolves, sort of, to speak up.
Yeah.
Because that's what their approach was. Let's see what he's got. we don't know if he's really ready, but
Yeah, I mean, you just might as well.
But he played good. I thought he played pretty good in lieu of the team around him and the system. I thought Drake May looked pretty good all in all, and his numbers were okay. He didn't play,
Now, is the guy from Dart? Is this his?
Yeah, Jackson Dart's in
He's
this
a senior too, right?
Yeah, he is considered on this top 10. He was number 6.
6, okay.
7 was Jaylon Daniels from Kansas.
Yeah.
Shadur Sanders is ranked 8th. Cam Rising, Utah, 9.
Have anybody ever seen?
And Cam Ward for Miami.
Because of how you can find, man, especially YouTube. I love YouTube, football TV. But if you want to find college football and find guys, you can find it. And, back in the day, I would have never been able to see, Jaden Daniels, right? For Kansas.
Yeah, it's Jaylon. Jaylon.
If anybody ever seen him,
Jalon.
That guy can scramble and throw on the run accurately. If you ever seen him, because I wanted to see who he was. I mean, actually, I see the stats. I said I want to see him play, and the guy can throw the football, and he's a threat to run too at any time. So he might be one of those sleeper guys.
He could be because they were talking. They said that his problem again seems to be the injury bug. It says all he's got to do is stay in the field.
Yep.
In his past 14 games, he has thrown for 336 yards, 29 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions, while rushing for 691 yards, not including the sacks. He scrambles beautifully, avoids both sacks and picks over the 22-23 season. He had the highest combined quarterback QBR of any returning quarterback. The problem is it's his injury.
Yep.
The injury bug has hit him. And you get into the reliability versus ability.
Yeah.
And you got to have the abilities there, but you got to have reliability. And the reliability is getting on the field and playing. And the ability is they have the talent. Yeah. But you can have great ability, but if you don't have the reliability and you can't play because you're hurt, I mean, in a roundabout way, you're no benefit to that team.
Yeah, if you get injured.
If you're injured and injured a lot and you're out because whatever it is, again, you've got to have both.
Well, this year, I was able to see him last season. This year, the offensive line looks better. A lot better. It was a young offensive line last year. He used to be running for his life, but he would not run though. He is the guy that runs to throw, not runs.
Yeah, Jalen is not a running quarterback.
Yeah, he can. He can run. He got good speed, but he looks down the field
to throw. Like Jaden Daniels is that way. Jaden's a good runner, but he just runs to break away to throw the ball downfield, which he's done an unbelievable job with the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, and there's a Jaylon. We'll keep it straight.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
But Jaden Daniels is, we've talked about him, but just Jaylon Daniels again, but his issue has been more staying on the field because of the injury bug.
And that's what I'm sure he's happy with his offensive line so far this year.
Right.
Because they done kept him upright a lot more than in the past.
That's going to be Jaylon Daniels if your line keeps you upright.
Yeah. And which goes for anybody. You got to protect those quarterbacks. You got to protect
the quarterback. They can't be getting laid out.
Because guys, woof.
Other news out there, and looks like Cleveland is, at least word is, they're going to be moving the stadium to Brook Park in a dome. So it looks like Cleveland will be moving out. I believe they said this is going to be 2028 is when they're going to leave the stadium for the dome. And it said here, obviously the mayor of Cleveland's not happy. He's going to lose $30 million in economic activity.
Yeah.
But it looks like Cleveland, Jimmy and Dee Haslam are going to be moving the team out to the suburbs over a $2 billion private investment. Together with public investment, will create a major economic development project that will drive activity necessary to pay the public bond debt service through future projected generated and Browns generated revenue, says the Haslam. So they're going to be moving the team.
And make sure
out
they
to
have
the
great
suburbs.
access. You move that team to the suburbs.
Yeah,
make sure
to
you got
Brook
great
Park.
access. So when you get up there, you can have somewhere to park.
Right.
And get to
get the parking right.
Oh my God. They got to get that right. Domes are nice. You know, they are. But I guess I'm an old football guy. I just hate taking the elements away from the game. I love this snow, mud, all kind of stuff. You know, instead of just playing inside on some field turf. But I mean, that's what it is today.
Well,
you know, and it's nice for the fans.
And they want to maximize the dome. So if it's a dome, they can have concerts.
Oh, yeah.
They can have all activity
all
in there.
Kind of stuff in there.
They can get a Super Bowl potentially.
Oh, they will.
So they will.
Yeah, I think
they will. So
me too.
There's a big motivation for them to put a dome there because it opens up more opportunity for
different things of that nature.
Concerts, Super Bowls, tractor pull contests, what all that stuff is. They open up the door for all other activities.
Yeah, make big time
and
money.
make a lot more money.
That's what it's all about, the dollar. And that stuff.
Yes.
We know that.
And it looks like that according to, if you're looking at dollar, it looks like the Browns have a value of $6.02 billion. So they're worth $6 billion. The team franchise is worth $6 billion. I always say that's what they say. That means nothing. It's what people will pay for it. I'm convinced with the NFL and these teams that's $6 billion, and they would probably, if they sold it tomorrow, they'd get $8 billion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what they are. It's worth $6 billion. Yeah, that's what it is. But to me, that's always what they start at.
Mm-hmm.
Where they end up
can be completely different.
It's probably a lot more than that.
Yeah. Yep.
That's our music. We got to get to the NFL picks. A lot to going on, Dave Clark. And then college is upon us, and we got that to deal. And
good games every week.
Week 9 of high school football is in the books. 1 week left of high school football. Back after timeout.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Ina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
The Mahoning Valley's leader for golf, Milk Creek Golf Course, is now booking tee times for 2024. We offer stay and play opportunities available with 9 area hotel partners. For more information, visit our website at millcreekmetroparks.org. Also, look for new, exciting opportunities coming soon, including an indoor player development center with Trackman, an indoor Callaway Club Fitting Center, and an Odyssey Fitting Studio in 2024. Follow us on Facebook at Milk Creek Golf Course or call 330-740-7112.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take 1.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Dave Clark, before we do the picks, I do want to share this with you. And I don't want to hammer this because we love the NCAA, but I have an interesting story to tell you. I read this great book, 1968. David Hyde wrote it about Ohio State. It was the year that it saved. It was the year 1968 is the year they saved Ohio State football. Tremendous book. I just thought it was he broke down the season and the players and what they've done. And it's just a mind-boggling, great, easy read book. I actually, the second time I read it like 10 years ago. I picked it up again. But in the book, this is where it was Thanksgiving, Columbus, Ohio. John Brockington played for the Buckeyes.
Yep.
And his wife were living in Columbus, and it was Thanksgiving, and they didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
I think they had a child at the time, and they were in their one-bedroom apartment, and they get a knock on the door, and who is it? It's Thanksgiving. Who shows up with a big turkey and all kind of fixings? Woody Hayes. Coach Hayes comes in, wishes John and his family happy Thanksgiving, and gives them this giant turkey, and vegetables and everything with it. Wishes them happy Thanksgiving, talks a little bit, leaves. That is an NCAA violation because that was an extra benefit.
Yes.
And I want to report that to the NCAA. And that happened in 1968, November of 1968. Now, do they have to go back and take away their title? That was their national title? Because Woody Hayes gave John Brockington, his wife and child, a turkey
but that's
for
The
Thanksgiving.
thing. But that lets you know that they pick and choose who they want.
That's what I mean.
They just want to rip whoever, because that would be. Under their things that they do. That's bigger than Lefty Drizel's hamburger.
Yeah,
So
it's a turkey.
This is a whole turkey with dressing.
With dressing.
Fixing.
That's right. That's a violation.
They didn't do anything.
No.
See, they pick who they want to
Right.
go after, and then they go and rip those teams
They
apart.
pick and choose.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know if they knew that happened, but can they go back and start? I could see them doing it.
Yeah, they might. They might strip them of it. 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Go ahead and strip them of their title.
Let's get. I think we got Irish Mike on. We'll get to the college and pro. You're on the sports page. What's up?
Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Dave. How you guys doing?
Good, Irish Mike.
I don't know if you guys saw the story the other day. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday that the NCAA is approved to go from 85 football scholarships up to 105.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think beginning in 2026 season. So you can add 20 more scholarships onto your football roster.
Okay.
Which I believe, Dave, will make the transfer portal even worse now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As far as guys not being very antsy. Hey, my freshman year, I'm not playing. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the problem you have with this whole. And first of all, the NIL. It is a mess. There's no regulations, but the problem you ultimately have is they promise NIL money to players. These kids coming out of high school who think they're great 5-star recruits and therefore they deserve all this NIL money. Mm-hmm. Sounds great. But when the player gets there and all of a sudden the player's not that good, then the NIL people don't want to pay the guy because he's not living up to the contract because he's not as good. And now all of a sudden the kid's upset because he's not getting the money he promised. Hopefully there's a signed contract. Sometimes there's not, sometimes there is. And then they get into this dispute of living up to the contract and the fine print. You could see where all this is going. And the problem with the NIL is there's no really agents out there representing these kids because a lot of the agents don't want to get involved with that because it's considered small potatoes, sort of to speak. And they don't want to get into disputes with the colleges over NIL money. So it's just not regulated at all.
Right.
For the players.
Text guys with some friends, and I have a friend being a Big Ten and Ohio State fan for 5 decades, and he sent us a text message last night. We were talking about the going from 85 to 105 scholarships to NIL, and he says, here's what he texted us. I've always been a huge critic of the SEC and their mantra, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. However, right now, the Big Ten is no better. They can no longer claim the moral high ground like in years past.
Yeah.
Everybody's involved in this now. This idea that, I heard a story about the young freshman wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, who's probably go to the NFL after this year, but, rule's going to keep him for 2 more years. He was committed to Ohio State for 11 months. And last December, 2023, the night before Letterman 10 Day, the Miami, Florida Hurricanes reached out and offered him even a bigger NIL deal package than they'd offered before. And, the Smith family contacted the people in Columbus and said, hey, here's what Miami's offering us now. We might take this deal. We know we've been committed for 11 months, but we might go to Miami because we're going to get a better NIL. So Ohio State matched the deal. And the next morning, Miami came back with even more money to try to entice them to come to Miami. So, and that just kind of fell through. But that tells you where you're at now. This whole idea that these guys are going to stay in their college for 2 or 3 years. No. Who's to say that an Oregon might not offer Jeremiah Smith a $3.5 million NIL deal to come out to Eugene next year, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
You don't know that.
Right, and with the transfer portal being what it is, they could pull it off. And so they could poach other rosters because they have the portal to do it. And we know there probably are. And again, it's turned into the wild, wild west, but I knew this was going to happen. But this is what happens when you keep, and I fault the NCAA to a large part for why it is what it is today, is because they never took any type of proactive action to prevent it, and they let it, and they kept fighting it. And then once it was approved, the floodgates opened up. Now you have no regulation. You've got money and pay to play, and it's just turned into a full board. But you have no leadership in the college football. There's no commissioner. There's no kind of any kind of regulating body per se that can at least put guidelines and standards together. Because then the NCAA, all they care about is some kid getting a hamburger that doesn't deserve that. So,
a question I have, guys, is I think they're trying to shut down the springtime period, like from late April till the late May, where you can get in the portal again after spring football practice concludes and all your spring football games concludes. Now they want to make it. I think it opens this year, December 8th, the day after the conference championship game. I think it closed around January 4th or January 5th. So you have about 3.5 weeks to enter your name in the portal. The question I have for you, gentlemen, is this: what about these teams who make it deep into the playoffs till the second or third week of January? Right. How about some of those guys who say, yes, my team made it really far, but I'm not happy with my NIL deal. And the fact is, I only had 3 weeks to enter the portal from second week of December till the first week of January. And my team's season got done January 14th, and the portal closed a week ago. Even though I want a really, really good football team, basically I want to be a free agent to maximize my NIL profits, maybe here or somewhere else. And I did not get that chance or opportunity because you closed the portal too early on me.
Yeah.
I want to stay with my team through the playoffs. You understand?
But then I want to leave as soon as I can because I could get more money.
The possibility and or flexibility if I do want to leave, if I get a better NIL deal, I'm a freshman or sophomore. I can have that chance. I can have that opportunity to do so.
Yeah. Right.
Wonder if Ohio State wins the national championship.
Yeah.
Wouldn't Smith say, hey, I'm going to take this bigger NIL deal and win a championship at another location? How many people did that?
Yeah.
Or Ohio State's got to ante up and give them match the money.
Right. Well, I'm just saying in his head that even if they wanted to do that, he might want to go somewhere else and say, how many people have won 2 national championships with 2 different teams?
That's a good point.
I mean, you got all kind of things that can happen.
The NIL,
And my buddy brought this up, Pat, the other day at the lunch table. And there's so many scenarios that can play out in college football, and we love talking about it. It makes for great talk radio like we do every week. He said, 2 weeks, November 2nd, Ohio State plays Penn State over in Happy Valley. Tough place to play, could be a whiteout. He says, if they lose that game, then you're most likely looking at a Big Ten championship game on December 7th of Oregon versus Penn State now,
right?
Which would lock Ohio State out of that Big Ten title game. Now they could still make the playoffs with 2 losses. I mean, they're still, and I would still say there's probably a 98% chance they will make the playoffs with 2 loses. But he said all of a sudden now you go from a high seed to maybe you're a 9 seed or 10 seed, and you don't make you lose a home game. So not only got to play an extra round of playoffs now, 4 games instead of 3, but there's a good chance you're probably going to go on the road, not host a game in Columbus, which cost a lot of money for the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, that could be
university.
Yeah.
Now you're a 9 seed compared to being a 4 or 5 seed.
The only thing I would say to that is how do they? I wonder how they break out all the revenue. Like,
I don't know. That's a great question.
See, the question I have is, do they pool it all together and then they break it out? So, like, if you have 12 teams, and say like Ohio State has to travel to, I don't know, Alabama to say, I'm just throwing it out there, first round of a playoff. But at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt Ohio State because they're going to pool all that money together anyway.
Correct.
And so all the teams are all going to get they're all going to get money based on maybe where they go, but they're going to pool it all together and then ante it up or break it out. So that's the only question I have is how do they break out all the revenue that they generate from this 12-team playoff?
Because I think we're on the mindset when we went from 14 to 12 teams, Dave, that you were allowed to have, but for years it was okay to have 1 loss and still make the playoffs. So you could have a bad loss, but you could still win the rest of your games and get in at 12-1 in the Final Four. Now, when we went to 12 teams, we're almost in the mindset it's okay to even have 2 losses, depending on your schedule, okay, and who you're playing, like in the SEC and Big Ten. It's okay to have 2 losses, but the second you take that 3rd loss on, that we mentally eliminate you, like, because you lost too much. At the end of the day, you're losing games. I guess the question I have for you guys is, Alabama plays Tennessee later on today down in Knoxville, and then a couple weeks later they play LSU down in Baton Rouge. I mean, at what point in time we're going to stop making? And even Paul Feinbaum has got off the excuse train for Alabama and said this does not look like a playoff team to me. This does not look like one of the top 12 teams in the country right now.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the interesting part is how many teams from each conference get in because it's the conference they're in.
Yeah.
Like Big Ten, SEC being the number 1 conference, then you can get probably Big Ten would be number 2, followed by maybe the Big 12 and then the ACC.
Correct.
But I mean, I don't know. How do you?
Crazy.
Yeah.
4 teams from each of those conferences would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Right. Or they would probably how many, and that's where this is going to get real interesting this year. First year doing it is how does this going to break out teams getting in?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess so you're saying to me, Pat, like the loser today, the Alabama-Tennessee game at 7 o'clock, the loser will have 2 losses, okay, because both have 1. Are both those on life support after that? I mean, after that game, you're saying, like, now, if you get that 2nd loss, now you're must win the rest of the season, or we don't want to hear from you anymore, right?
Well, I mean, that's going to be, does a 3-loss SEC, can a 3-loss SEC team get in?
Yeah.
That's going to be a question.
Because Georgia can take on their 2nd loss. They 2 down in Austin, right?
Right.
Right. They could.
Let's say,
Georgia,
they lost to Alabama and Tuscaloosa
right,
when they were in the top 5, tough place to play at night. And then you lost on Texas, number 1 team. So look at your losses. I mean, you lost to 2 really good football teams on the road, right? So is there going to be that mantra out there? That I don't want to say excuse, but that kind of logic or that kind of reasoning?
Yeah, I mean,
we've been told for guys the last 18 years that this committee looks at your wins. They don't measure your losses. It's all about the wins. Like, who did you play? What was their record? Were they in top 25? That they look way more at your wins than they look at your losses. That's we've been told for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you really look, like, for instance, Georgia already obviously has their loss. They play Texas, but then they have to see, Georgia's schedule gets, all right, at Florida, we know it's not any good. Mississippi and Tennessee back to back.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Massachusetts is out not, and then they finish with Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech's not a pushover because Georgia Tech's might be, we're going to get to it. Notre Dame plays Georgia Tech today at Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that could be a big game for Notre Dame because I don't think Notre Dame can lose another game.
No, correct.
So they're in a tough spot. But if Georgia loses today and then maybe they blow the game to Mississippi or Tennessee, are they out because now they have 3 losses?
Yeah. Well, or do they think one if you lose to each team? What did they lose? Georgia. They lost to Alabama by
1 point.
One point, right?
Yeah, like 1 point.
Okay.
And you lose to Texas by a 1 or 2 points.
Let's say that.
Right.
And then your other loss is by 1 or 2.
Right.
But you have a 2-team, a team with 2 losses, maybe even 1.
Right.
But they got beat by a team unranked.
Right.
And might have got beat by 25 points.
Right.
Do you put them in?
I think, Dave, we're going back down that road again.
I know it's going to happen.
To me, it was all about the wins. Like, we look at your wins resume, how many top 25 wins do you have, what's your conference opponent record, all that other stuff.
Well, they better say that's what it is.
People by losses, okay? Like, I was one of the ones with Lucia, called your show up, they're not even beat Texas A&M, they're in the playoff. I never thought that for a second. Nor when they lost Northern Illinois or they're eliminated from the I never thought that for a second. I think there's a 14-week season. A lot of scenarios are going to play out good, bad, and different for a lot of people that can change week by week by week.
Oh, yeah, right. You got a lot of football left.
Yeah, it's a lot to go.
Well, what if Georgia gets into the conference final and wins it? They're in. And if they have 3 or 4 losses and they get in the conference final and win, they're in. And they could have 4 losses or 3 losses and they get in because they won their conference final.
That'd be something.
It's
going to be interesting.
Pat, you're looking at right now, both Army and Navy are ranked in the top 25. The 2 teams are combined 11-0. I mean, that's the first time since 1945 that's happened. That's when World War II ended 80 years ago.
Yeah. And they sure do be dominating too.
Back in the spring, said, "Oh, look, Notre Dame playing all the academies." And all of a sudden, you look at them and say, "If you watch Army and Navy play, they're both pretty good."
Yes, they are. Yeah. Yes, they are. They're tough.
Very good. I don't know what
I wouldn't want to. I'm telling you, I take them off my schedule.
No, I wouldn't want to play those teams.
Yeah, I take them off.
Yeah. I wouldn't play those teams. I wouldn't want to play Army or Navy.
Notre Dame plays Navy next week at where the Jets and Giants play. And East Rutherford, New Jersey, Navy home game. They play next week. Okay, and just imagine this, Pat Lucia, because this is right near and dear to your heart. Just think about this for a second. 2 scenarios. 1, November 23rd, the Saturday before Thanksgiving, Notre Dame plays Army. Okay, Army could be 10-0 at that time, and let's say Notre Dame's 9-1. That game's going to be in Yankee Stadium, New York. Can you imagine the atmosphere in Yankee Stadium that day?
Yeah, that'll be crazy.
Yeah.
Seriously,
that will be absolutely.
Probably go watch. Right? Won't game day be there? What do you think?
They might.
Oh my! Look at this atmosphere. Yankee Stadium. It'd be like 1945 all over.
No, it would be.
The war.
No, and that's what it. Yeah, you would be basically playing
Yep.
With the monuments in the back.
I mean, I could see them being there, especially if no other game that, big time significance is going on. They could challenge that. But other than that, that'd be big.
What about guys we might have to wait to set our playoff rankings because Army and Navy play December 14th. They always play the last game of the college season. They did it forever, and we would honor that. But that could be for playoff.
Could be a playoff spot.
Wouldn't that be something if one of them teams get in there?
They go if one of them goes undefeated, you're going to probably have to put them in.
Yes.
You would technically, if Army or Navy goes undefeated, I think you're going to have to put one of them in. They obviously can't. They can't go undefeated. Both of them can't because they play one another.
Right.
But if one of those teams would go undefeated, you're going to have to put Army or Navy in the 12. You have to. Yeah. You can't leave them out if they're undefeated. With their schedules, you can't.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's because I know that's what they're going to bring up. Let's look at their schedule.
But if they're undefeated.
Yes, they're both undefeated, and that's the first question mark to me the schedule. Now, if they're undefeated, going to play each other, Pat, then they would both have wins over Notre Dame, which would be a decent resume bill for both of them.
Well, and it's going to help Notre Dame.
And then they would have a win over each other. The winner of that game would have a win over the loser, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And there you go. So
it's going to be interesting.
So they would have 2, the word quality wins in their resume call.
Said,
the thing goes back to. Are we still measuring wins? Is it all about the wins, not who you lost to? I mean, I brought the lunch table, go back 10 years ago when Ohio State won their national title in 2014. They lost home their second game of the year against Virginia Tech team when it's 500, right? They finished 6-6 in the regular season. People said, that's a terrible loss. That's a terrible loss. That's a terrible loss. Well, it didn't hurt them.
No, they ended up winning the national title.
Look who they beat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Look what they did in October, November. Look at their wins. They didn't look back on September 10th and say that was a terrible home loss to a mediocre football team.
No, the bottom line is they won the Big Ten, they won the conference, and basically, they got in over Baylor.
Yes.
And that basically people said because it was Ohio State and they have more cachet than Baylor as far as their name goes. They probably have there's truth to that.
Yeah.
It's a bigger name and they got in.
It's all about money. We know that.
All that stuff, right? It was one of those TCU or Baylor and they went back and forth.
Yeah.
What do we do here?
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's hit last week, our picks. Dave Clark, Dave Clark did good last week.
Oh, say terrible.
You did good. Irish Mike and I were 4-5. Dave Clark was 7-2 on our college picks.
Boy, that's something.
Good job, Dave.
Good job,
especially
Dave.
with college. That thing's unpredictable every week.
Yeah, let's go to the college picks now since I've got you here. Miami at Louisville. And Louisville's getting 5 points at home versus Miami.
Hurricanes, and I'm taking Louisville.
Oh, you're taking Louisville?
Yeah, because they usually don't play really great at Louisville, and Louisville is a sneaky team.
Lamar Jackson a couple years ago, remember that game?
Yeah. What about you, Irish Mike?
I'm going to go with Louisville at home. I mean, I'll tell you this, Dave Clark, it's a close game down the end. The Canes are going to get the calls. We've proven that from their referees the last couple weeks, but neither here nor there. I'll go with Louisville at home.
Let's move on to, and that's at noon today, ABC. So
who you got? The same?
Yeah, I'll take Louisville. Nebraska at Indiana, and it's 6 and a hook. Nebraska gets 6 and a hook on the road at Indiana.
Indiana's a great story. They're 6-0 undefeated with a new head football coach from James Madison.
Yeah.
I'll take Nebraska in the 6.5. Indiana's schedule's been kind of weak so far, so I think they're kind of a what they call paper tiger. So I'll go with Nebraska and plus 6.5.
Well, Nebraska had the big win last week against my favorite Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, 14-7.
Yeah, no.
And Indiana beat Northwestern 41-24. I don't know what you can gather from that, Dave Clark, but saying that.
Man, I'm thinking about that because I wonder about Indiana, but they do look good.
They do look good.
But you said 6.5, right?
Laying 6.5 to Nebraska.
I mean, are they there yet? I still think they'll win the game, but I'm gonna take Nebraska in 6.5.
I don't know.
That's hard. That's hard.
That's a hard pick.
Yeah,
I wrote Indiana down, but the more I think about it, I gotta go. I'm gonna go Nebraska too. I think that Nebraska is just better. The fact that they beat the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers will do it for me. That did it. That's the qualifier. Let's move on before I continue to digress down that other road. Auburn at Missouri, noon ESPN. Oh, by the Nebraska, Indiana's Fox game at noon. Auburn at Missouri. 4 points. Auburn gets 4 points at Missouri, a noon ESPN game.
I'll take Missouri at home.
How many points is
4?
Auburn getting?
Auburn gets 4.
I'm not really sold on them too much. I'm gonna take Missouri. Missouri's at home, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they'll.
Missouri beat Massachusetts last week 45-3.
Yeah. Maybe they got back to learning how to score because they were looking good early.
Yeah, they were. Then they kind of had that real bad game. They're 5-1.
Right.
Auburn lost last week. No, they were on the bye last week. Week before they lost to Georgia, 31-13. But saying all that, I don't know about. Yeah, I hate to keep going chalk with you guys, but I'll take Missouri too at home and lay the 4. Bama at Tennessee. 3:30 ABC. Tennessee's getting 3 points at home.
Yeah, no.
Bama barely won last week, 27-25 over South Carolina. And then Tennessee won in overtime over Florida, 23-17. They get 3 points. Both teams are 5-1.
This is a tough.
I'm going to go, Dave, or Pat, I'm going to go with Alabama on the road today. I'm going with the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, I just think they're going to little better offensive output. I'm going Bama too.
Me too. I'll take Bama. So we're matching up.
Next one up is your team, Irish Mike. Georgia at Jaw Tech.
I like that game.
3:30. And ESPN, Jaw Tech gets 9 and a hook at home. A lot of wood. That was
just so you guys know, I mean, Notre Dame's missing 4 or 5 regular starters with injuries out for the season on defensive side of the ball, so they're been depleted the last month or so defensively. But Georgia Tech's starting quarterback's out today. He's not playing. He's hurt. So, and he's one of their better players.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to go with Notre Dame in this game.
Me too.
Yeah, and this
at Georgia Tech.
How many points?
9.5.
They're playing in the dome, Pat. It's a Georgia Tech home game, but they're not playing on Georgia Tech's campus. They're playing 20 miles away in the Georgia Dome where the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, they're playing down there in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Yeah. Okay.
So it's a neutral site game. It's 20 miles from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I was going to say that's.
Do you want to play in a 50,000 seat stadium, or do you want to play in an 85,000 seat stadium? You know how that goes, right?
In the dome, yeah. We know.
About money.
We know where that is.
Yeah.
What about you, Dave? ND?
I'm gonna take them, especially with the quarterback being out. He was a very viable guy. He was good.
Next one up is Michigan at Illinois. Brett Bielema, Illinois Illini get 3.5 at home.
I'm taking
Illinois in the upset to win.
Yeah.
Give me the Illinois Illini.
Yep, me too.
All right. I'll be different. I'll go Michigan and lay the 3 and a hook. I'll probably make that's probably a mistake. LSU at Arkansas, the night game, 7:00. Arkansas gets 2 and a hook at home versus LSU. So Arkansas at home dog. That's a tough spot to play.
Dave, Pat, give me Arkansas at home to pull off the upset over Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I'm telling you that is a dangerous team in Arkansas.
Yeah, they are.
They are a dangerous team. I'm taking them. They're at home with the points, right?
Yep, they get 2.5.
They're going to be fired up down there, Razorback country.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll go the LSU route and lay the point. I know that's probably dicey because the way Arkansas has been playing. But let's go to Georgia at Texas. This is the big game tonight at 7:30 ABC up against the Yankees in Cleveland baseball. Georgia, Texas, -4.5. Hey, that's it. Hang on, Irish Mike.
Yes, sir.
We'll get you back. It's going to be fourth quarter, and we'll finish up our college and get to the NFL. Saturday Morning Sports Page, Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. Back after timeout on Western Reserve Radio.
Discount Power Sports at 778 North Main Street at Hubbard is hosting a raffle for a 125cc Pentora ATV. Tickets are $30 each, and 100 tickets are available. For each raffle, when those 100 are gone, a winner will be drawn and a new raffle will begin. Tickets can be purchased at any Hubbard home game or at 778 North Main Street or by calling 330-717-44441. $1,500 from each raffle will go toward a scholarship for the Hubbard Youth Coalition.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
The game is over, but this time, instead of asking how many goals did you score or what were your stats, try asking these questions. Were you a good teammate? Were you coachable? Did you give 100%? And did you have fun? Because those are the values that school sports instill in Ohio's young people, where winning and losing are secondary to the life lessons that will stay with kids long after their playing days are over. This is the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Educate through sports.
Saturday morning sports page coming right back at you. Let's get with Irish Mike. Irish Mike.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Georgia at Texas, and minus Georgia's getting 4.5 at Texas. Big game tonight. Obviously, 2 top 5 teams going at it. Texas on a roll. They beat Oklahoma, the rival Red River. Not much of a game, 34-3. Texas dominating Oklahoma.
And we said last week Oklahoma's offense is rotten, Dave Clark, and it's still rotten.
Yeah, it's still not good.
And who they playing again?
Georgia played Mississippi State and beat them 41-31. That they should have. Mississippi State not very good. Georgia's defense. No. That's a lot of points for Georgia to give up.
Yeah, I know.
Did
they play down?
And they play to the level of the opponent? Game? Yeah, were they looking ahead?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. This big, this one.
And don't you guys gentlemen believe before, the last several years we've seen college football, when these top programs play each other, the top 5 propose each other, most of them in really high-scoring games. So we talked about how great their defenses are all year, and then we have to play a high-caliber offense.
Yeah.
It seems they have trouble stopping those. I expect another high-scoring game between Georgia and Texas tonight.
That's why I'm taking the points.
Yeah, I'll take the points, too. I'll take Georgia. That sounds like a fair analysis.
Yeah, because that is true. They finally got some competition against them, so that's why, Oklahoma could not. They played pretty good early. They did with the young quarterback. Oklahoma, they did play good early.
Yeah,
but that wasn't going. There was no way they sustaining that.
I think as much as I want to say, but I kind of like those points in a close game with 2 teams like this. I got to take the points in Georgia just because it's 4 and a hook. Let's go to the last one. Kansas State at West Virginia. And West Virginia gets 2.5 at home versus Kansas State. K-State, big win last week over Colorado. They did not cover because it was a 4-point spread. They won 31-28, but K-State didn't cover last week against Colorado.
Yep. A game that Colorado should have won.
I'll take Kansas State on the road. I'll take the Wildcats.
And they're playing again. Who's it?
West Virginia. West Virginia at home.
Yeah, they can come out and score sometimes.
They lost last week against Iowa State, beat them 28-16.
Yeah.
K-State's 5-1. West Virginia 3-3. I don't know where you draw from any of that.
And they getting
2.5 at home. Home dog.
That makes you think something funny about
it. And that's it. You hear that spread. You think,
that don't make sense.
Right. Is there something more to this than meets the eye? Or there's less, depending on.
Yeah. I'll just take a chance and take West Virginia at home. There's just something weird about it. But Kansas State should win this game.
Yeah, that's kind of what I keep saying. That's what I'm haunted because I think Kansas State should win down there. I'll take K-State.
They should.
They should win.
Listen, I'm taking this. I'm just doing it. I think K-State should win it.
Right.
But I'm just going to think, is there something funny with this? So
right.
I'm just going to take West Virginia. Take a chance. I'm going to remember that.
Hey, Irish Mike.
Dave, I know you guys give your pro picks, but shouldn't Pat give us a bonus pick? The UCLA Bruins travel all the way to Piscataway, New Jersey to play the Rutgers Golden Knights.
Oh, man.
I know.
3,000 miles in 5 hours by plane to play a league game.
Oh, my gosh.
Can we do that as a bonus?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why don't we do 2 bonus picks? Let's live high tonight. Let's do Colorado. I'll just write them up top here. Who do you want? It's Colorado. Let's do 2 of them because we were here. Colorado is at Arizona. We'll do this one. This is at 4:00 today. And Colorado is getting 3 points.
I think Travis Hunter, their All-American wide receivers out due to injury, so I'll take Arizona at home.
Did they finally say he's out now?
I heard the word limited, I heard. Limited.
Okay, because I heard that he was playing. They got so many receivers, though.
They do.
They're going to score. That's the thing.
They're at Arizona, and Colorado's on the road. They get 3 points at Arizona.
It'll be hot there, dude. 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. It's going to be a little warm.
Which is 2 o'clock their time, right? So
yeah, it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
1 o'clock. Yeah, you're right.
So there's going to be.
I'm gonna take Colorado.
Okay. Yeah, I like Arizona. I'll take the home.
It's their homecoming.
Since you said what was the other one? UCLA.
UCLA at Rutgers.
Yeah,
what time are they playing that game?
I think they're getting extra. They're getting big points.
Yeah. What is the time of that game? I'm trying to look it up.
I would think
noon. Here it is. It's noon. Oh my God. They're only getting 4 points.
That's all.
UCLA is only getting 4 points.
See, another one that sounds funny, doesn't it?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right either.
Yeah. UCLA lost at home last week to Minnesota. They gave up a game-winning drive in the last 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Rose Bowl, and they lost to Minnesota. It's probably the fact they applied cross-country. It's a noon start, which is 9 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to go with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and Greg Schiano.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Now, my suggestion to you, Irish Mike, is I think if Army or Rutgers don't make the top 5 or top 12, they need to put them in a bowl because you'd have the Scarlet Knights playing the Black Knights of Army.
Oh, there you go.
You'd have like a night bowl.
And you can play that one in Yankee Stadium.
Play that in Yankee Stadium. That's what they should do. Rutgers playing Army, the Scarlet Knights right across the line is the Army Black Knights, and you have the Black Knights and the Scarlet Knights, and they should play it on Black Monday when they fire all the NFL coaches.
That's funny.
That's what they should do.
Well, hey, I know you guys are going to get your pro picks, but thanks for taking my call, Dave and Pat. Have a great weekend, guys.
All right.
Okay, Irish Mike.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man. Okay, Dave Clark, let's get to the pros.
Yep.
The Patriots at the Jets -6. No, I'm sorry. My bad. Patriots playing the Jags in London. They get 6 points.
Oh, God.
Playing the Jags. I don't know where you even remotely go with this game. The Jags played at London last week. It got absolutely boat raced by Chicago and Caleb Williams. They made Caleb Williams play one of his best games. Doug Peterson could get fired. That was the other coach we didn't get to.
Yeah. There's one. Yeah.
There's another guy.
Gone.
But he might be fired after the game when he gets back to the United States. They might can him right there after the game.
Yeah, this doesn't look, body language, everything.
Horrible.
When you see him getting interviewed, I know he knows he's right there to be fired.
Yeah. Because that owner's going to I don't think
and they always play good in London.
They do. They did last week.
And who they play this week?
The Patriots. With Drake May.
Now you got to be able to outscore them. You have to.
You have to. You've got to get good against the Patriots because the Patriots are not good.
Yeah. It's hard to score. They got a good defense.
I'll take the Jags.
I am too.
And lay the 6 points. They can't. If they lose to the Patriots and Drake May, he will get fired. That I will go on I'm going out on a limb.
We should put that down.
We should add that in here as an asterisk. I'm going to put it here. Fired coach
on the plane.
Yeah, fired coach before he gets on the plane. If Jacksonville lose, I wrote it in here. Okay. Let's move on.
Woo.
Seahawks are at the Falcons -3. Seahawks are getting 3 points on the road in Atlanta. Seahawks lost last week. Seahawks don't look so good. They got beat by the Giants, beat by the Niners last week, 36-24.
Yeah, they don't look good.
Falcons look pretty good. They're 4-2. They beat the Panthers last week, 38-20. Really wasn't much of a game. I think it just goes to show you how bad the Panthers are, but I think Falcons are a pretty decent team.
Yeah,
Again,
they are.
4-2. They and Tampa Bay may both get in the playoffs in that division.
Yeah, that game is in.
It's in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. Atlanta's home. And Seahawks get 3 points to travel to Atlanta. I'm taking the Falcons and I'll lay the 3.
Man, that's a tough one.
I'll just go with the premise that A, Seattle's got to travel across the country, but B, I just think
you said it's 3, right?
Yeah, -3.
Yeah, I'll go with the home team on that one.
The Falcons.
They should win that. It's just a crazy NFL season.
This is another wacky game. Titans are at the Bills. Bills are laying 8.5. A lot of big point spread. This Bills lay 8.5. The Titans had the Colts beat, but we both got it because we both said if Flacco plays, we would go with the Colts. So we both got that game.
Yeah,
because we had that as a asterisk. Said if Richardson was going to play, we were going to take the Titans. But since Flacco played and they won, and Flacco won with the touchdown at the end of the game, which basically is haunting those Colt fans because they know Flacco's better than Richardson, but you got to play Richardson because he's your rookie and the upcomer, but you know Flacco's playing better.
Until he gets his everything down. You see the talent, it's there.
It's there.
But you want to, if you want to win, you still see on the cusp.
But that's your problem.
You got it,
Your problem in the Colt fans are farce with Flacco gives you a better chance to win the game because he's just obviously Richardson is going through that developmental stage. You see the potential, but there's a lot of hit and miss there because he's just learning the game. He didn't get a lot of starts in Florida, but Joe Flacco gives you a better chance to win the game.
Yep.
That's why the Browns didn't want Flacco because the fans knew Flacco was better than Watson. Now they're all like, Yeah, what do you do? But
I mean, that's what these veterans have been doing.
But
they
that's
come in,
what happens.
Yeah, Andy Dalton's all make them look like a different thing. So I'm gonna still take the Bills. I think our guy's gonna, he's gonna be slinging it around. He got Amari Cooper now. They
got Amari Cooper. We forgot the trade. Devontae Adams, a Jet. Amari went to the Bills. That's what the Bills needed.
Yes,
and Josh Allen is going to make.
Oh yeah, Josh going
to get him the ball, and I think it's going to really help Buffalo.
And they got back this week too. The back, he was injured last week.
Oh, Buffalo's running back.
Running back, right? He'll be back.
Okay,
Cook. James Cook, he'll be back. So that's another offensive weapon. I think they in Tennessee, I just don't think can score with Buffalo.
No.
So
at Buffalo
too, I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, I like the Bills. Even they beat the Jets 23-20 Monday nighter, but I like them better. The Titans lost another brutal game. That's a new coach down there. Callahan, and I guess they'll be more patient than Tepper.
Yeah, because it's not his coaching. They should have won those earlier games.
Will Levis, the turnovers, killing him.
He killed them in that both games.
Let's move on. Bengals are at the Browns tomorrow in Cleveland. Browns get 5.5. Bengals coming off a big win against the Giants on Sunday night, looking to get back, resurrect the season.
I got to take Cincinnati because Cleveland, maybe this will be the week, but they have not scored over 20 points.
Now, what did they say that Cleveland converted their 14th third down of the season? That's how bad their offense is.
It's terrible.
14th, they've converted their 14th third down conversion of the year.
And I know, and it's too bad, but that's how it's going to be. You get $230 million, everything is on him. But when you really look at it, running backs, horrifying.
They're just terrible.
Offensive line, terrible. And then you're not getting the ball to receivers.
No.
It's a complete disaster. It's not just the quarterback, it's completely the line, everything. So maybe Chubb can make just like certain quarterbacks can make a line look good. Chubb can make somebody look good, and I don't put nothing past this guy. And so watch them have that bad injury in college, come back.
I know.
And I didn't think he would be that good, and he was like he never was injured. So I just want to see. I would love to see him have a good game tomorrow. It'd be great to see in Cleveland. That might.
And the Bengals don't play them good, but
they never do.
They never do, and that's why I'm leaning to take the Browns.
I know it's so hard but
the Browns are just
so bad they have not scored. And that's why it makes me think, well, I know Cincinnati should be able to score 24 points.
Here's how I'll look at it this way. Is it more, here I'll lay this out, based on just on this alone. Is it more possible that the Browns would be 1-6 or the Bengals be 2-5? Because if the Bengals lose, they go 2-5. If the Browns lose, they go to 1-6. What's more conceivable? And I think it's more conceivable based on what you see of the Browns and the Bengals when they will be 3-4. And I think the Bengals know that they need to need the game more than the Browns do. And I think the Browns have just quit.
Yeah. Well, I do believe
if they played Jameis Winston, I would go with the Browns.
Yeah. Well, I just think just because of Ford is out,
right,
running back. I just believe with Chubb in the backfield, these guys going to play hard just because
of him.
Because of him. They're going to play hard because of him.
Well, do you want to change your pick?
I don't know. Until they score 20 points, I can't do it. I got to stay big.
I got to stay with the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay with
I just think the Bengals need it more than the Browns to get their season back on track. The Browns
I look at the Browns need to do something. They need to do something.
And they need to bring in Jameis Winston, and they won't do it because Haslam is telling.
Now, wonder if tomorrow we see the Browns, Chubb have a great game.
And they win.
Watson look like
Johnny Unitas or
something. It's like, what the heck's going on?
What the heck is going on? I don't know.
Then we're going to see.
Let's go to the next one. Big game. Texans are at the Packers. Minus Texans get 2.5.
Oh, God.
Another tough game.
Yeah. Yes,
Packers beat the Cardinals last week bad, 34-13, no game. And then Texans just, they abused it. They beat Patriots 41-21, which is no shock.
Yeah.
So they had both teams played well, big victories.
This is a hard one, too, because
they're on the road.
It's hard to win up in Lambeau.
And Green Bay is tough.
But, oh, man, this is a hard pick. Green Bay he spreads the ball around. They can score, but I'm still going to go with the Texans. I'm just going to go with them. Green Bay plays good defense too. So does Houston. This is a good game.
Oh yeah, this is one of the. This is going to be one of the top games of the year. 56 degrees and a little rain.
A little rain in there.
In rain, 56. Texans on the road.
I'll go ahead and stay with. I don't know. You said a little rain and it's on the road too. Oh Lord, I'm still stay with Houston. I said Houston. I'm gonna stay with them.
I'm really good. Yeah, I know this is one of these games.
I'm kind of.
I
could go either way.
I go either way.
I'm gonna stay with Houston and take the points.
I kind of like the Texans and the points. It's a tough game though.
Yeah, it is.
In Lambeau. Let's go to the Miami Dolphins are at the Colts. They get 3 points.
The Dolphins.
Yeah, but. Richardson starting for the Colts.
Yeah, I still think I don't look at him as no total disaster or anything like that.
No, he's just
they
just don't play as well. I mean, it's just because Flacco is really
the offense is different.
Right, the offense is different. You're correct.
Because you're not running RPOs, you're not doing none of that because Flacco does. He just run a basic pro offense style offense, whereas Richardson's different. So. But he can make big plays against that Dolphins defense. And they got some injuries with their pass rushers. How many points? Who get
3?
3.
Dolphins get 3.
I'm just taking the Colts. And it's in Miami though, right?
No.
Oh, it's at the Colts?
They're at the Dome.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take
They're in the
Colts.
Dome. They're up in Miami's so bad. No offense. Their offensive line is really bad.
Yeah, it is. It's just bad.
I don't even know who is going to be who's their starting quarterback. Is it Skylar Thompson or? I guess I got to. I didn't even look it up.
I guess it's still what's his name?
The guy from Baltimore.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Dan Marino's the starter.
Yeah, I think Dan Marino should be the
Bob Greasy.
Maybe they could get Bob Greasy back.
No, Earl Morrill.
Well, Earl, rest in peace, Earl Morrill.
He comes out.
Poor Earl. It would have to be a seance.
Yeah,
bring
him out.
Tyler Huntley is their quarterback. Skylar Thompson is questionable. If Tyler Huntley gets hurt, I don't know
who's the quarterback.
Then they would have Skylar Thompson is questionable.
Wait a minute now. Is Tua
is on IR?
Is he still on IR?
He's still on IR.
They're saying they might take him off and he'll be an emergency guy right now.
Well, not this week. He's still on the IR.
Well,
so it's going to be Tyler, the guy, Huntley, and then Skylar Thompson.
That's a hard thing to do, to come in few days and then you're the name, the starter, and they want to see the offense.
Oh yeah,
it's
right
not
away.
Going to run smoothly with Tyler Huntley.
I got to go.
He didn't been there.
I have to go with the Colts.
Yeah,
I'm
all
on
the way.
Quarterback.
All the way with the Colts.
I think, yeah. Let's go to another big game. Lions are at the Vikings.
Oh, I love this game.
1 and a hook. Lions get 1 and a hook.
You know what I hate? Before I say this, I know we live in this region or all the regions around the world. Sometimes I wish we could just, you could just pick. Okay, my CBS game, I want that one. And, whoever I want.
Yeah, if you could just selectively just pick
now,
the
I'm
game.
glad I got that streaming star. I can watch any game I want.
I do too. We got,
But everybody doesn't have that luxury. And I just think that, man, that game, I'm looking forward to that one.
1 o'clock Fox.
Now,
Denver,
Detroit's getting the points.
They get 1 and a hook.
And it's at
Minnesota.
Man.
Vikings are 5-0.
If there's one team that could beat them, it is this one.
Yeah.
This is the team that could beat them. It's Detroit.
I tell you what.
Can you stop that offense of Minnesota?
What's his name? And the
Jefferson?
The D coordinator for the Vikings. Who is he?
Oh, I forgot who it is now.
We both have a
Flores.
Flores always has a different defense
every week.
Every week he drives all these teams crazy. Flores is a defense. He's a defensive genius. He is.
Yeah.
And Brian Flores is a defensive
Tomlin didn't want to lose him, but he knew that he's going to go somewhere else, get the coordinator, and probably try to get another.
He'll get another. I think he gets another bite at the apple later down the road, but because he gets these
good,
unbelievable defensive.
And they change it every week.
Every week he gives somebody.
Because I do think Detroit is the team that could beat him. I want to take them. I am going to take them.
You're going to take Lions?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's time for Minnesota to lose one. But this guy might design something that Detroit can't run the ball, and they have been able to run.
They say playing in that Viking stadium when it's sunny out is like playing in a sauna.
Yeah, no.
And the opposing teams just get worn out.
Yeah,
playing in that state because of all the windows and the sun comes in.
Yeah, it's like a what they said
like a greenhouse.
Greenhouse, yep.
I'll take the Vikings. You want the Lions?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Lions because I think that's the team that can beat them. But I don't know.
Let's go to let's get to the Eagles and the Giants.
Give me the Giants.
3.5.
I ain't even gonna wait. I'm just gonna say until they show me they know how to play.
I'll actually agree. I'm going to take the Giants too. I'll take the hook. I think it's going to come down to a 3
I don't even care where it's at. It doesn't matter.
At New York. It's at the Meadow.
I didn't care because they both at home when they play. It's just down the road.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Right down the road.
Saquon Barkley coming back to see if he's going to.
That's a problem because he might try to go crazy.
He could go crazy.
But I'm going to go ahead and take
Let's get to the Raiders at the Rams.
Oh, God.
This is a weird game because the Raiders get 7 points. They are playing horrendous. The Raiders look dismal. And the points.
Yeah, I'm going to take and not because I like the Raiders. I'm taking them because I think I love Devontae Adams, but I think getting rid of that and all
getting
that
rid of that
stuff
might be what they needed.
all that stuff over the team. Is he here? Is he playing? What's going on? A lot of turmoil type thing.
Yeah.
Now you can settle on these are the guys that we got to go forward with. And you just go and play.
Might be the difference.
Just be free. You be free when you like that. So
I'll take the Rams because the Raiders are a mess at quarterback.
Yeah.
And
they're messing on everything
Yeah,
with all the injuries.
the whole team
But I think they get Cooper Kupp back today. I mean, well, not today, tomorrow. I think they do.
Oh, you mean the Rams do?
Yeah, because they done lost a lot of guys.
That could be a difference. Yeah, they've been a mass unit too.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
Let's get to the Panthers at the Commanders, 9 and a hook. I'll take Commanders.
Where's it at?
Commanders playing at Washington.
Yeah.
I'll take the Commanders and lay the 9 and a hook. Yeah. I think the Panthers stink. They're not any good. I'm sorry. I mean,
who did they play last week? They played somebody.
Falcons beat them 38-20 last week.
Yeah, it was
really
a good game, though.
And then the Falcons just kind of.
But for 3 quarters, it was good.
It was good 3 quarters, and then the Falcons took over. Took it over in that 4th quarter, and the Panthers are just a train wreck.
Yeah, but they look better.
They look better with Dalton than they did with Young.
Them a chance.
Maybe they hang with the Commanders at 9 and a hook.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of points in the NFL.
And their defense concern me. I mean, I'm gonna take Washington.
All right,
but their defense concerned me. That
Yeah,
if they
does.
We'll see. I mean, they do got good players.
They do.
Especially defensive line.
Right. The problem you have is the Panthers are just, again, maybe Dalton will figure it out.
Yeah. They just look better with him.
They do look better with him.
They was looking like they shouldn't even be in the NFL.
No, they almost look like
it was terrible.
Bad college team. Let's get to the Chiefs are at the 49ers, -2. So the Chiefs get -2 at the Niners, 425 Fox.
Okay. So we saying San Fran is a home underdog?
No. Favorite. 2 points for the Chiefs get 2 points.
The Chiefs get 2.
Yeah, Chiefs get 2 points at the Niners. So it's almost an even game.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll go ahead and I'll take the 49ers.
Yes, but they're at home, right?
At home.
Yeah, they're going to want to beat.
The Chiefs are 5-0. I think they're almost due for a bad game.
Yeah, that's why I said for Minnesota, I don't think it'd be bad, but I just think
I don't think the Niners go to 3-4. I think the Chiefs go to 5-1. That's how I'm looking at this. Because the Niners are 3-3. I don't think they go to 3-4. It's more
they're gonna have to run the ball, and Kareem Hunt act like he's never left Kansas City or something. It's hard to go against that guy, but I'm gonna go KC.
Okay.
I'm gonna go so I can put bad luck on them.
Let's go to the Jets. The Jets at the Steelers, +2. Devontae Adams with the Jets. We're about out of time, but let's get the Jets at the Steelers in +2 points. Jets lay 2 points on the road. The Steelers get 2 points at home. That's the winner.
That's not a nice thing to do.
No.
The Steelers at home. So I'm gonna take the Steelers.
Yeah. I'll go Jets.
I want to though. I think they're gonna be fired up.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna be the difference.
Monday night, right?
That's Sunday night.
Sunday night.
We'll get the other two later. Saturday morning sports page. Everybody stay safe. Do not drink, do not drive, and enjoy your week. It is the Saturday morning sports page on Western Reserve Radio.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
You're watching VSiN's College Football Tailgate Show right here on VSiN, the sports betting network where you get your winners.
Hour 2 of the VSiN College Football Tailgate Show, and I know a lot of you are getting ready to throw down on some games, and if you're the type of player who's trying to get down $10,000 or more on an NFL line, maybe a college football line as well, on the best price in the market, or maybe you're looking forward to that in-game play to be instantly accepted, introducing Sport Trade, the app that's going to change sports betting. -104 lines instead of the typical -110, instant in-game betting, and a concierge